how are you doing? Right, it's just to bring you up to speed with the wing and the alterations I've been making. On the last video, which was in HD, and this one isn't, but that's because I've sold the video camera, but I'll be getting another one, so we're okay. So for now we're back in low res or whatever it is. Right, yeah, as I was saying last time about these 8 strip and changing all of the sparring over to quarter, I would still stick with that. Just show you something here. I would probably, as I was saying, cut that one down by half, this hardwood thing, and take the 8, or rather the quarter square of balsa all the way through, and the same with that one. But everything else about it is more or less okay. You probably think, is it that important? Well, because it obviously flew in its original state, but that depends on what you skinned it in. It's just whenever you have to make an evasive thing, say the plane is heading over towards a crowd and you've got to turn sharp, that's when you add on the extra load onto the wing, and that's when the wing will fail. So having made a few planes, which I might show you someday, you do have to have a bit of strength in the wing, because even with a plane like this you could easily pull up to 2G or 3G, and that's a lot of weight. That's like 8 or 9 pounds onto the wing, and it would just snap. So anyway, that's it. So you've got your quarter square in there and everything. I've got the top skin on. I'll show you the bottom skin going on, but I'm just going to show you this as well, because this is fairly important. It's not on the plan, as a lot of things aren't, but I've just added on, where are we at? Just come back a bit. The quarter, no, not the quarter, 16th by a quarter little strips across each of the spars. You see, there's a spar without it there, and this is a one with it. All it is to spread the load when you skin it over with the solar film up to the back there, and just sort of rub those down flush. It's just so you don't get all of this spars and everything to wrinkle it. So this will essentially make it look better. So I just add it on the pins, but it'll be dry by now, so I can just lift a few of those pins out. You get the idea. Now, the reason that I've only taken it to this spar here is because I've marked off where the engines will go. I'll just show you why on the plan. Right, so you see how the 2 engine pods go there and there, which is, on the side view, is like that. That would mean pretty much from about there backwards would be going over open structure. By open structure I mean, you know, all of this, not over the plank. So to get that to blend in, it's going to be pretty hard, and I would imagine it'll sort of knock a hole in there in the film. But anyway, regardless, that will be very difficult to add on and slip over and get the thing to blend in properly. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you with a bit of 8th. Right, so just up to there, which is the spar after the engines, which is why I stopped it there, and the next one has that stripping on. I'm going to plank it all the way back to the trailing edge. That means that the motor kind of pod will come back here. You see what I mean? There'd be about that much of it would be sticking over open structure. So if you skin it over, it doesn't really explain at what stage you would add in the motors or these housings. So I've decided to plank over, then I can add in the motors whenever I want. And I would imagine you'll slice out around it so it blends in perfectly, and then you would skin over it and then paint it, and that will come along to that one there. So it'll be between there and there. Right, also this is the bit where the wing will screw down onto the pedestal on there, you see. So that has to be strong enough to take the screws. So all it is scrap block. Now this is on the plan. So you see with the scrap block along there. It's just strips of quarter, yim size, like that, and a piece in the front there. Leave the middle bit hollow, because for us that are going electric with this thing, that will be where the wiring will run down through there and down through that hole there. So the motors and the ailerons will run down through the bottom of there. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'll just show you these strips as well. Easy as pie to put on, and well worth it because it'll make it look much nicer when it's on. I'll just show you one going on. All you would do is just stick it onto there, like that, measure it, and literally snap it. You'll just lean on it with your finger. There you go. Now that would just be glued. Oops, I'm going all off to one side for you there. And that would be glued onto there all the way along, and then plank the middle bit, and that'll be great. Then I'll be showing you adding in the servos, but for now we'll flip the wing over and add in these planks. So I'll just stop it there a minute because you must be getting a bit on the shaky side. Okay, right, nice and easy this. All you do is just glue along all of the spars. I'll start with this one. I've had to put a little kind of step in there for that to get around that spar. It just depends if you're better at shaping and slicing up than I am. I mean, obviously all of this does add weight, but this was never going to be a lightweight stunt plane. And this is the strange thing I don't understand about the guy who designed it, because if you're trying to make a lightweight plane, that's fine. That's the kind of thing you would do with the wing. You would try to shave out all the little bits of weight. But the plane is more or less made out of plywood. That's pretty heavy stuff. And then to make a weak wing is just kind of crazy. I would imagine, because I think it's, I got the plan from Ontario, so it's obviously for the States, you know, which have got large lakes and lots of open areas. So you could basically fly it like a glider just about. In fact, to fly it on rudder only is pretty brave when you've got 60 odd inch of flat wing. As I mentioned before, that's going to make it pretty slow to respond, especially when you've got the airflow from two motors blowing over it. But anywho, we've redesigned it, and that's the end of it. So that's really all you would do with that. That creates that into a box almost. And there's nothing stronger than squares and sort of triangles. But I just thought I would show you that, because I was saying about slicing down into the former's saw. That'll actually recess in. You can see along there it's absolutely flush, because you don't want that standing up by a 16. Right, I think that should just about do it for now. Yeah. Okay, next time, let's go up. Right, next time we'll be back, and hopefully back in HD, because I must admit, when I'm showing you things on the plan, it is a lot better when it's in HD. Okay, see you again.